The film begins with an old New York banquet where two workers are repairing an old ship called Motomar. One of them starts removing a metal plate, thinking he could earn some good money by selling it. The moment the plate is pulled off, built-up pressure bursts out, knocking them both backward. The male worker insists everything's fine, but the female worker becomes uneasy after spotting something strange emerging from the gap. Suddenly, a small dwarf-like creature strikes the female worker and disappears. The male worker helps her, but as they continue forward, that dangerous creature appears again. Its body resembles a giant rat, and it suddenly attacks the male worker, viciously tearing off his ears and nose. Terrified, the female worker tries to flee. She reaches the engine room, only to find the rat creature already waiting. She turns to run, but her foot lands on the severed ear of the dead worker, causing her to slip and fall hard. She drops into the same spot they had just opened. Struggling to look upward, she sees the rat creature staring down at her before it leaps and sinks its teeth into her wrist. The scene shifts to a girl named Selena, running in fear. She reaches the terminal and speaks to a ship worker. Noticing she's out of breath, he asks, "Is something wrong? Why do you look so nervous?" Selena explains she was working as a waitress at a birthday party. When it ended, the birthday, girl Cindy and her friends wanted to keep partying outside and started following her. Since Selena needed to get home, she came to catch the bus. The worker advises her to head to the lower deck but keep her distance while he figures out how to delay the girls. Moments later, Cindy and her friends arrive, asking if he's seen Selena. He tells them she went to the upper deck, so they head that way. Now all passengers and crew are aboard. The captain announces they'll begin the journey soon, but a control room operator warns him to wait due to heavy fog ahead. The captain refuses, saying he's been on duty too long and just wants to go home. Ignoring the warning, he orders the ship to depart. The operator warns again about the dangerous fog and instructs him to stay in contact until they reach their destination. As the trip begins, passengers settle in. Among them is a girl named Nuts, who notices an old man sleeping. When she approaches, the old man suddenly opens his eyes. He was very scared. He held his hand and said this ship was cursed by their alcohol, but of course the nurse didn't take his words seriously. On the lower deck, Selena was still hiding, where she spoke to that worker again. She said she had written her dreams in her diary, but could never fulfill them. Somewhere else on the ship, a man wearing a large mask costume went to another deck to rest. As he sat down, he heard someone whistling. When he got up to check, no one was there. But when he tried to sit again, his mask was no longer on the seat. It was placed in front of him. As soon as he stepped forward to take it, the creature appeared and attacked his legs, badly injuring him. The creature then pushed a torch through his head from behind, killing him painfully and damaging his face. Later, when Selena went to the washroom, the nurse also came in. She handed Selena her diary, saying she found it lying on the ground. Selena thanked her, but as soon as the nurse left, she threw the diary in the dustbin, because now she had no connection to it or to New York. She simply walked away. She didn't know that in the next cabin, a vicious creature was eating a human body. The journey continued. A police officer came aboard to perform his duty. On the upper deck, he heard a strange, squeaky laugh. He thought someone was coming up the stairs, but when he went to check, someone hit his leg with a hammer, causing him to fall. His gun was thrown away, and as he crawled to get it, his hand was struck with the hammer too, breaking his bones and making blood flow heavily. In pain, he screamed loudly, and in front of him stood a mucky mouse. Selena, passing by, heard the screams and came to check. She saw the mouse in the costume holding the officer and pushing him toward the plane's wing. The officer's head was badly injured. Seeing this, Selena was terrified. Then the mucky mouse noticed her and instantly fell in love. He showed her the officer's mutilated body as if it were a gift. She ran to the nurse and worker, telling them she had seen a terrifying creature in a mouse costume killing the officer. Of course, no one believed her, but the officer still told the nurse to take Selena to a safe place, while he went to find the missing officer. Meanwhile, the captain noticed the fog getting thicker. When he tried to call the control room, his eyes fell on a wall covered with photos of past captains. He was confused. But before he could think more, Mucky Mouse came from behind and attacked, wrapping an iron chain around his neck to choke him. The captain tried to fight back, but the creature slit his throat, killing him. Now, with the captain dead, the creature took control of the ship, changing its direction, singing and playing music. Soon, a senior officer arrived. Seeing the blood and the captain's severed head, he was horrified. Realizing he was now the acting captain, he decided to handle the situation and ordered all crew and passengers below deck. Meanwhile, Mucky Mouse roamed another part of the ship where two of Cindy's friends were filming videos. Without hesitation, he started a forklift truck and drove it toward the girls, killing one instantly. A nurse nearby saw this and finally believed Selena's story, rushing off to tell her. The assistant continued forcing everyone into the death cell area. When all passengers were inside, Selena, the assistant, and the nurse also prepared to go in. There was chaos. In the middle of the panic, a crew member shouted to kill the captain, creating an atmosphere of fear among the passengers. They thought someone had attacked the ship. Seeing this, the officer calmed everyone down, saying that, "We will all live and die together." He hadn't even finished speaking when Mucky Mouse suddenly jammed a broom into his neck, silencing him forever. As soon as people saw this, they recognized Mucky Mouse, and the entire crew rushed to kill him. He pounced on them, but saved himself by using a fire hose, forcing everyone to retreat. When the whole place filled with water, he threw electric wires into it, giving everyone severe electric shocks. Witnessing this horrifying scene, Selena, the assistant, and the nurse ran towards another deck where they found Cindy sleeping on a bench. Shocked, the three discussed contacting the control room by radio to return the ship to port. Meanwhile, Mucky Mouse was looking for his next victim. While roaming, he found many liquor bottles. As he reached for one, he realized a child named Martio was hiding nearby. Smelling the air, he sensed a human presence. Martio somehow survived, but his mother was killed by electrocution. Before Mucky could attack him, another traveler appeared and took Martio away. Elsewhere on the ship, a girl sitting on the lower deck saw a police officer sleeping on a bench. She woke him up, told him something was wrong with the lights, and asked him to help. Unfortunately, Mucky Mouse was hiding in a cupboard nearby. As they approached, Mucky attacked with a blade, cutting the officer so badly that he bled to death. The girl tried to run, but Mucky reached her first and slit her throat with a rod. Selena and her companions then went to the captain's cabin, but Cynthia became separated from them. Selena decided to go back and find her. On the way, they met Martio and the same traveler, who explained they had narrowly escaped electrocution. The assistant started taking survivors to the captain's cabin, while the senior officer worked on fixing the radio. Suddenly, he heard a strange noise. Turning around, he saw Mucky holding a TV. Before the officer could react, Mucky smashed the TV over his head, crushing his skull and killing him instantly. Mucky then stood on the TV and danced. Meanwhile, Cindy was wandering alone. As her drunkenness faded, she realized she was separated from the group. Distressed, she tried to call them, but there was no signal. She kept moving until she found a spot where some signal returned. Her friend had sent her a photo. In the background, Mucky was peeking at her. Horrified, Cindy walked on and accidentally bumped into a costume mask. A severed head fell out, making her scream. Stepping back, she saw another friend's blood-soaked, hanging body. Trembling in fear, she turned to see Mucky holding an iron weapon. He moved to attack, but Cindy managed to escape and lock the door behind her. From outside, she mocked him, calling him ugly and lazy for not catching her. Above them, a terrifying message written in blood read, "Screaming is your heart's desire." which made the atmosphere even more horrifying. The group soon learned that the radio was broken beyond repair, meaning they could no longer contact the control room. Fear spread, and no one knew what to do next. She was thinking about what to do now. Suddenly, a hand grabbed Selena's leg, and everyone was stunned. They were shocked. But it turned out this hand belonged to the same old man who had told the nurse earlier that the ship was cursed. The old man had been hiding here, and that's how he survived. Now he was with them. He said, "I know that rat, Mucky Mouse, who's hunting everyone." He revealed that the rat's real name was Screamboat Willie, and then he began telling the whole story. In 1950, he learned about a strange rat. The ship, Fat Marmee, had a rat-like creature that looked like Mucky Mouse. The captain met this creature, Willie, on the ship, and they became very close friends. Willie was kept to entertain children and adults, and anyone who came to the ship Motamar would be delighted by him. Even the captain loved him deeply. They lived happily together and went on many journeys. But one day a dangerous storm struck, and the captain died. Willie was heartbroken because he had no one else besides his friend, the captain. Now he was left alone on the Motamar ship, locked in a box for many years. Somehow he was freed. But we know that, at the start of the story, those two workers accidentally freed him by opening his door. The old man explained that Willie was killing everyone because the Motamar ship was being dismantled in parts, and Willie had also arrived, here with his belongings. He believed this ship was his home, and anyone who came aboard would be killed. Now that the assistant and the others knew the truth, they decided to go to the engine room and ask for help using the flare gun. Two teams were formed, Selena and the nurse in one, and the assistant with Martio, a traveler, in the other. On the way, they found the female worker from the beginning, who had somehow survived Willie's attack. She told them that the ship's pipeline was faulty and, if not repaired, the entire machinery could be damaged. She asked for help, so the assistant and the passenger went with her. Inside, the assistant found a broken pipe and began fixing it. But the female worker suddenly attacked the traveler with a wrench, injuring him, and then hit him on the head. She was wearing a helmet with Mickey Mouse-like ears and said she was following Willie's orders. Mickey Mouse wanted control of the whole ship because he was searching for a special friend lost somewhere in the ocean. Meanwhile, Selena and the nurse moved ahead. Willie was walking on the roof just above them. Realizing the danger, they tried to move quietly, but the nurse stepped on a nail. Before she could scream, Selena covered her mouth, and the nurse stayed calm. They spotted a box of flares ahead. As Selena went to grab it, she heard heavy breathing behind her. Turning around, she saw Willie standing there with a flower-shaped lamp and a bouquet, but the bouquet was made of human ears. Selena screamed in horror. The nurse took the chance to attack Willie with a screwdriver, injuring his eye. He screamed in pain and attacked her, but before he could do more, Selena struck him with an iron rod, knocking him down. They tried to escape, but the flare box was empty. The female worker had stolen it to stop anyone from ruining Mucky Mouse's plan. When the female worker was about to attack the assistant, Willie appeared. She saluted him respectfully and approached, but Willie was furious. Pulling the screwdriver from his eye, he attacked her and bit her savagely. Seeing an opening, the assistant grabbed the flare gun and took the passenger with him, urging him to leave. But the traveler refused, saying he wouldn't leave this filthy place without killing the dangerous rat. He stayed, sending Martio and the assistant away, then fired the flare gun at the oil tank. This caused a huge explosion, setting the engine room on fire. The traveler died in the blast, and the assistant was injured. They arrive at the place where the assistant and Martio were hiding. Both girls try to save them because the area was quickly filling with water. Heavy debris was piled on top, making it impossible to clear everything. She could only remove enough for them to squeeze out. Somehow, the assistant gets Martio free, and before that, Willie comes out himself. Willie bites his leg. Instead of running, the assistant stands his ground and challenges Willie to fight. Willie actually shows up, even though Selena begs him to. Stop and come with her. The assistant sees himself as the captain and decides to face Willie. He tells Selena to save herself and run. Suddenly, Willie attacks the assistant and they grapple closely. The assistant sacrifices himself, which deeply saddens Selena. She is forced to flee, even though she doesn't want to leave. A nurse warns her that Willie isn't dead and will return to kill any survivors. They begin thinking of ways to stop him. Then Martio shows a photo from 1950 showing Willie with the captain and another rat. They guess the other rat was lost in a storm at sea and Willie is searching for him. Hearing this gives Selena an idea. She searches for clothes and finds a white outfit with black spots, making her look like a mouse, perfect for her plan. Wearing it, she tries to lure Willie's attention. Meanwhile, the nurse and Martio reach the top deck, where they see another ship in the distance. The nurse waves for help, and the captain of the other ship responds. But then she hears heavy breathing behind her. It's Willie, holding an iron rod. He steps forward to attack. She tries to dodge but slips and falls. Before he can kill her, a voice calls his name. It's Selena. She stands before him dressed like his lost companion and tells him she's trying to show she is his friend. As he approaches, she swings a hammer at him, but he dodges quickly. Selena helps the nurse, leaving Martio alone. Willie grabs Martio and throws him into the sea. Selena rushes to save him, but slips and hangs from the ship's edge. Willie is about to knock her down, but stops, remembering his lost friend. Instead, he pulls her up hoping to win her affection and gives her a real flower. The nurse wakes up and shouts at Willie, distracting him. Selena seizes the chance to stab him in the head with scissors. Enraged, Willie says goodbye and jumps into the sea, disappearing. Selena and the nurse hug, then go to rescue Martio, who has managed to stay afloat using a trash bin. Hours later, another ship rescues them. Martio's father thanks Selena and the nurse for saving his son. Before leaving, Martio gives Selena her diary, which he had found in the trash. Happy to have it back, she decides not to go to New York, but to follow her dreams. However, she doesn't realize the danger isn't over. Willie's body is found in a garbage heap, completely healed. And now, his lost partner is with him. The threat is clear. New York City's rats are about to face disaster as the two will stop at nothing for revenge. In the control room, AAD, radio call for help is heard. It's from the assistant who fought Willie. He's still alive and trapped on the ship. Rescuers set out immediately, and the movie ends here.